राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजन। यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजन। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंजा बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंजा बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजन। यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजन। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंजा बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजन। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंजा बिहारी। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे। हरे राम राम हरे हरे। जय राधा जम सुंदराधा जम सुंदराधे। जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा। जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद। जय जय प्रभुपाद। जय गो प्रमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राज काचार्य स्तोत्र सतस्व श्रीमद् श्री भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राज काचार्य स्तोत्र सतस्व श्रीमद् श्री भक्ति सिद्धांत ठाकुर गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णवंत की जय। नमाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय। गंगमा यमुनमाई की जय। भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय। समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। निताय गो प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। Allorista Assembly Hare Krishna. Allorista Assembly Hare Krishna. Allorista Assembly Hare Krishna. Alloris. Shri Guru and Guranga. Gopal Jaya. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vishkaya Bhutale. Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nidram Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharani. Nirvishesha Sunyavad Patsanchidristha. Thank you for joining. Give me 1 minute. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Deva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayat Nashta Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki. Hari Om Tat Sat. Reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9. Okay. Reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, verse number 33. Most confidential knowledge, verse number 33 and 34.
Yeah, I'm going. You guys know that? What? Mind your business.
Devotees, mute your lines, please. Kim punar brahmana punya bhaktya rajarshayastadha anityam asukam lokam imam prapya bhajasvamam. Kim punar brahmana punya bhakta rajarshayastadha anityam asukam lokam imam prapya bhajasvamam. Kim punar brahmana punya bhakta rajarshayasthatha anityam asukam lokam imam prapya bhajasvamam. Word to word. Kim, how much? Puna, again. Brahmanas, punya, righteous. Bhakta, devotees. Rajarshaya, saintly kings. Tata, also. Anityam, temporary. Asukam, full of miseries. Lokam, planet. Imam, this. Prapya, gaining. Bhajasva, be engaged in loving service. Mam, unto me. Translation by the Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. How much more this is so of the righteous Brahmanas, the devotees and the saintly kings, therefore, having come to this temporary miserable world, engage in loving service unto me. Repeat. How much more this is so of righteous Brahmanas, the devotees and the saintly kings, therefore, having come to this temporary miserable world, engage in loving service unto me. Verse number 34. मन्मनाभव मद्भक्तो मद्याजी मां नमस्कुरु मामे वैश्यसि युक्तैवम् आत्मानं मत्परायणः मन्मनाभव मद्भक्तो मद्याजी मां नमस्कुरु मामे वैश्यसि युक्तैवम् आत्मानं मत्परायणः मन्मनाभव मद्भक्तो मद्याजी मां नमस्कुरु Mame Vaishyasi Yuktaivam Atmanam Matparayana. Word to word. Mat Mana. Always thinking of me. Bhava. Become. Mat. My. Bhakta. Devotee. Mat. My. Yaji. Worshipper. Mam. Unto me. Namaskuru. Offer obeisances. Mam. Unto me. Eva. Completely. Ishyasi. You will come. Yuktva. Being absorbed. Evam. Thus. Atmanam. Your soul. Matparayana, devoted to me. Translation by Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Engage your mind always in thinking of me. Become my devotee. Offer obeisances to me and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. Please repeat. Engage your mind always in thinking of me. Become my devotee and offer obeisances to me and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. So, here, try to understand these words. Om Ajnanatamidandasya Gnananjanasrakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Vangayate Girim Yatkrupatamaham Vande Sri Gurum Denataran Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Iswaram Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhaya पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकम्. प्रभु गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय. These are the most beautiful deities of Sri Pancha Tattva, five personalities, Lord Krishna in the middle, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. On the left side, you see Lord Balaram Nityananda Ram. On the leftmost is Mahavishnu and Sadasiva, Advaita Acharya. Then ISKCON World Headquarters, Mayapur Dham. On the rightmost, you see energy, internal energy, Gadadhar Pandit, who is none other than Srimati Radharani. On the rightmost is Narada Muni, the name of Srivas Thakur. These are the five personalities. Lord is expanding himself to enjoy the various rasas. So today's topic, today's section is 9.32 to 34, where it is discussing about my devotees are purified. Lord Krishna is making that statement in this chapter, the most confidential knowledge. So the previous verse 9.32, 33, 34. This is the last section in this chapter. So the previous verse is mentioning about how anyone who's coming from any lowest background, they could be from lowest background. Mam viparda vyapasritya epishu papayona. Striyo vaisya tata sudra tepi anti paramgatim. Even if they are of a lowest background, even if it's Chandala, dog eater, or whatever the case may be, but everybody can become purified when, if they take shelter of the Supreme Lord and his representative. So Supreme Lord Sri Krishna or any Vishnu Tattva and his representative. So his representative means spiritual master. So that assurance is being given. Their Acharya has explained that forget about even his pure devotees, but even anyone, even those who are any devotee for that matter, taking shelter of the Supreme Lord can be purified. Krishna, mute your lines. Yeah, Mami Partha Vyapasritya. Vyapasritya means accepting, taking shelter of a Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. It's not that we are taking shelter today. In a day-to-day basis, we are all taking shelter of someone. We are serving someone. But Krishna is not in the center. That's where the problem comes. we can't get the ultimate happiness as soon as minute we accept anything which is of temporary in this world. Asat as soon as we accept the temporary things, then you're not going to get ultimate happiness. So that's why asat gruhat, as soon as you accept that. So that's why in this verse, Krishna is mentioning that how one must, by taking shelter of his pure devotee, then you can get the actual real happiness. Otherwise, we will be have to go through the miserable conditions, and this is the today's section is describing that this is for the lowest people. And now in this verse, today's section 33 and 34, 33 is talking about Kim Brahmana Punya Tata Rajarshreyas Tata. So he's talking about now the in the previous verse I discussed about the lowest condition of people. Now, O Arjuna, you are the greatest king. You are the Rajarshi. You are the coming from the saintly background of the kings, especially Pandavas, Yudhishthira Maharaj, and grandfather coming from a great dynasty. So that's why he's been glorified that you don't need to worry about your position. Your position is coming from a great background and you are following always guided by Daumya and Bhishma Pitama and especially Narada Muni, Vyasdev, great exalted personalities. You have taken shelter of them. So your position is not in problem. Actually, in this case, Lord Krishna is glorifying that you are in the righteous position. Brahmanas and kings, especially Rajarshis. So, Kim Brahmana Punya Tata Rajarshe Tata. So, as soon as they take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead or his representatives, so they get delivered. Not only the lowest people, but it's even more righteous because they're always guided by these pure devotees, the Brahmanas and the kings. So that is what Krishna is stressing in this point. That means there are three kinds of categories of people. Those who are first category are those who are karmis, those who are engaging in material activities. So their business is to enjoy this material world, even though when we say this material world belongs to the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna or Narayan, everybody is after Lakshmi, but Lakshmi Devi is not separate from the Lord Narayan. Lakshmi Devi is always serving Lord Narayan. So one who is trying to gather the energy without the actually energetic, the master of the energy, Lakshmi belongs to Narayan, then we can't get the actual real happiness. Basically, Artha has to lead to Paramartha. Otherwise, it becomes Vyartha. So that means it will be waste of time. You will get some flickering happiness, but it is not going to lead to the successful end result. Especially with the mind, intelligence, false ego is always diverting us into different direction, always leading unto the illusory happiness, which is temporary. It's like desert, drops of water in an ocean, but the drop is nothing. Even deers and everybody is running towards that water drops, but they can't quench the thirst. So that's how we are thinking that it is like itching sensation when you have a wound on the skin, a small one, and you started, you know, scratching it. But more you scratch, it doesn't go away. Actually, it increases. Same way, this happiness, we get some happiness by scratching, but more you do that, because you will stop because when blood oozes, so that's when you stop. Same way, when you keep on engaging in material activities, thinking that this is the ultimate happiness, then you are going to get into the miserable condition of existence, especially at the time of leaving the body. We are in the gross body on a daytime. During the daytime, we are trying to enjoy with the gross body. But during the night time, what is happening? The subtle body we are enjoying, right? Mind, intelligence, false ego is the subtle body. Gross body is made up of this 10 senses, the knowledge acquiring senses, the ears, the eyes, the nose, the tongue, and then the skin, and the and also the you have the other ones, the karmendriyas, nothing but the hands, legs, genitals, evacuating. So these are karmendriyas. So karmendriyas, jnanendriyas, part of this gross body. We are trying to enjoy this daytime during this with this gross body. But beyond this gross body, there is a subtle body, which when we sleep, gross body is lying on the bed. But through subtle body, mind is going different places, and we are getting different dreams. We are somewhere else. We are trying to enjoy. So through subtle body, we are trying to enjoy. Neither we are this gross body, nor we are the subtle body. So then who we are? We are the spirit soul, the spark. Living entity is the spirit soul, spark. That is chapter 2 is starting with that understanding. We are not this body, but we are operating on the bodily concept of life. We are trying to enjoy with this body. At the time of leaving this body, what is going to happen? The gross body is going to be burned or buried or thrown into vultures. Different people follow different things. But the subtle body is the one which goes into the next body. Mind, intelligence, false ego is carrying the impressions, the carrying the reactions of the living entity, what they have done in this life, is carried on to the next life. So we are creating the future based on what kind of activities we are performing. So that's why Krishna is stressing here that if, in the 33 verse that one must worship me. That is the main. Out of three kinds of people, the karmis are trying to enjoy material nature, trying to get in this life enjoy, and the next life I will go to the heavenly planets, higher planets, and enjoy. But as soon as the pious credits are finished, and then you have to take up, the human worth is not guaranteed. Human worth is not. That is the problem with the those who are not surrendering to the Supreme Lord. For them, human birth is not guaranteed. In the next life, what kind of birth they will get, only Lord will know. Karmana Daivanetrina. Based on their activities, we can at least estimate what's going to happen based on the activities what they have done in this life. But the mind and intelligence false ego is carrying those impressions and they're getting another body, and those impressions are still there. So that's why mind is very much stressed in the next verse. So Krishna is stressing that if you want to become purified, then you must worship me. Bhajaswamam. So that bhajaswa means loving devotion service that start from hearing, and then only you can perceive. So just like you are, as soon as you hear a voice, a sound of your sons or daughters, immediately we recognize and we immediately pay attention. When somebody is crying, that is our original position. Like if you put your child in somebody's lap, some other woman other than the mother, definitely child will cry because that's not the natural position. Child recognize who's mother. Same way, when we are not in the original constitutional position of Jiver Swarupa Nitya Krishna Das, that means we are not serving, we are not having Krishna in the center of our life. We have everything else in the center of the life. Then it's not going to lead to the actual ultimate happiness. There will be flickering happiness. So, but that's not going to be the help us to get to the ultimate happiness in this life or the next life. So, but the karmis are after this. In this life, I'll enjoy nicely because this body is all in all, and the body is made of chemicals. But we all know, you sit in the car, we are driving to office, that car is not running the show. Person who's driving is going left, right, and stopping at red signals is using the consciousness. If it doesn't have a consciousness, then why are you stopping? So on what basis you are stopping at the red signal, going at the green signal? Because that means you are using your intelligence. So where is it coming from? So indriyani parani ahur indriyabhyam param manasastu para buddhe parasastu sa. Bhagavad Gita is talking about that indriya senses. Above the senses, there is the mind. Above the mind, there is intelligence. Above the intelligence, there is the soul. Above the soul is super soul. Super soul is guiding the soul. Soul is guiding the intelligence. Intelligence is guiding the mind. So in this way, then you are making the choices. But if Krishna is not in the center, Krishna is allowing you, he is watching only. What you want, free will is there. If you want to enjoy this, even though Krishna is saying this is not going to be good for you, still you want to do it because you are forcing him to do. Then all right, what can be done? Because you have the free will, so you have some bank balance pious credit. To that degree, within that purview of pious credits, Krishna will allow you to do certain activity. But everything is recorded. Karmana Daivanetriyana Jantor Dehopote. You can violate the rules and you can get away with it, tax evasion and whatnot in this world, material world. But you cannot get away from Supreme Lords. Everything is recorded. So every reaction we have to face it. In this, sometimes people will face at the childhood as soon as they are born. Baby dies within the womb itself. Sometimes after the birth, they will go through different difficulties. So, or the middle age, old age, it can. Everybody goes through it. Reactions. Sometimes it is severe, sometimes moderate. So, but this Adi Bhautika, Adi Atmika, Adi Daivika, these three kinds of pleasures, difficulties, everybody goes through. because of their past karma. If they don't recognize it, then they'll have to suffer more, actually. So that's why this knowledge is very important. Srunotam Sraddhaya Nityam, Grunanti Swachestam, Kalena Nati Dirgena, Bhagavan Visate Vrudi. Minute you start hearing this transcendental sound vibration, this is not a material sound. The whole material world is created by the sound vibration coming from the spiritual world. So by the through sound vibration only is created. That's why they call Big Bang theory. But because they can't recognize that there is a person behind it. So it is not a machine. Machine cannot work unless there is a person behind it. Like car cannot work without a person. This body, our body is also like a machine. Isra sarvabhutanam hriddesh orjun tishta brahmayati yantrarudan maya. Brahmayati sarvabhutan yantrarudan maya. Bhagavad Krishna is talking about. So that Isra, I am situated in everybody's heart, in this body, this machine. I have given you this machine, but you have to utilize for the right purpose with Krishna in the center. So then otherwise, you are just changing one machine to another machine. So this body is gone, and next life another body. We are continuing to either go up or downwards in different species of life. Human life, after so many births, only we get human life. If we don't utilize it, then it's going to be precarious condition. We may get some other body, a tree or animal or dog or whatnot. So that's why we have to follow the injunctions of Shastra, follow the instructions of Bhagavad Gita, then we can purify and we can get the ultimate happiness in this life and also next life. So that's why Krishna is stressing that one must worship him in order to become purified. Whatever condition, forget about the past. Whether you are whatever you are eating, whatever you are doing, that doesn't matter. Anyone can become purified minute they take up Krishna in the center. And the minute they try to worship Krishna. So that's why now, since Krishna is mentioning Bhajasva, one who is worshipping me, one who is serving me in loving devotion, then automatically he becomes purified. Chandala can be purified, even to the more so about these Brahmanas or the saintly kings or the devotees. These three categories, they're much more at higher level than the lower category of people. But the karmis are first category, those who are looking for this material enjoyment, this life and next life. Gnanis are next category, who are looking for renouncing everything, going to forest, or they are thinking this material world is false. So they want to merge into the Brahmana, they want to become God, they want to merge into God. That is Gnanis. But that is also not permanent, because you merge into God, that means Brahmana effulgence, then again you fall down from there also. There is no variety in Brahmana effulgence, which is in between the spiritual world, material world, there is a Brahmana effulgence. That is only 180 degrees. So that's there also there is no variety. Nirbhed Brahmanusandhan it is called. There is no variety in Brahman effulgence. There must be there. That's why you go to a sky, you go in a rocket, so space stations. They can't stay much longer. They have to take shelter. As a proper use example. Even when they go there, also they are looking at Russia, where is Moscow, or China, where is Japan. They are looking there. Why? If they are getting the shelter there, they have happiness, they are getting variety of activity there, then why they want to see here? They are getting higher things there because they are not getting there. They are not able to stay. They are not having not able to see those facilities, not able to enjoy. They are not able to meet other people. Then they obviously they have to come back. They can't stay in the space so long. There is no shelter there. So that's why we have to understand this. Even the Brahman effulgence is also like that. There is no variety. There is no people to interact with. So they have to enter into the place where there are living entities. So and you have to have proper qualification. That's why you can't see God. So that's why he's taking this beautiful Archa Vigraha, this Panchatattva we are seeing in Mayapur Dham, beautiful deities. So Lord is taking this Archa Vigraha for us so that we can connect with him. Just like we are connecting with a child or wife or husband. We are seeing them, we are hearing from them, we are touching them, we are talking to them, we are feeding them. So it is a service. But here, Krishna is not in the picture, center of the thing. So that's where the problem comes. Here, when Krishna is in the center, when we are worshipping, as next verse, Krishna is speaking now. What kind of worship? What this worship? How worship can be done? Krishna is saying four things you have to do. Manmanabhav madbhakto madhyajimam namaskuru mame vaisayuktaivam atmanam matparayanam. So you have to do four things. That is manmanabhav madbhakto. Man means six times Krishna is using. First thing one must be one have to clarify is that Krishna is a body and Krishna's form, Krishna's mind, Krishna's intelligence, Krishna is not different. In our case, it is different. We are not Indian, you are not Hindu, because in the originally it was called in Sanatana Dharma, Ilavrata Varsha. Later on, it became Bharata Varsha. Now, Bharata Varsha has been divided in so many places after, because we are in Kali Yuga is progressing, divided different continents, different places. We may call maybe American or Indian or whatever, African, different place, but this is on the basis of current position today. But in the previous life, who was there? So this is all. That's why this is a temporary happiness we are talking about. In the previous life, who was your wife and who were your husband? Who are your kids? You don't know, but you are thinking this is permanent. But next life, what's going to happen? Who will be your wife? Who will be your husband? Who will save you? Who will give you the actual happiness? You are thinking this is what it is. This is permanent. So that is what Krishna's case, Krishna's body, intelligence, mind, everything is spiritual. It is not temporary. It is not like our body. Right now, the even though we are spirit souls, we have taken this material temporary body because we want to enjoy separately from the Lord. For that purpose only this material body is created. It is like a prison house. Why government wants to create a prison in any place? Because those who violate the law, they are forced to take, because they have been told repeatedly, if you don't follow these things, then you will be end up in jail. But still, seeing others getting into jail, hearing, still they are so much in ignorance, and they are keep repeating these sinful activities. Then government has no choice but to put them in prison house. Same way, Supreme Lord, when he created the so many types of living entities and his own expansions, Vishnu Tattvas and Jiva Tattvas, he has created so many types of living entities, 8.4 million species, all the way from aquatics to trees to plants to birds to reptiles to human beings, different types of animals. He has created for enjoyment, variety of enjoyment. There are so many rasas are there. That's why he has created for that purpose. But minute the living entity is giving up this separate identity, he wants to be separate from the Lord. He doesn't want to follow Lord's rules. He doesn't. He wants to do his own thing. He wants to be the creator and enjoyer. So that's why this material world is created for that purpose. It is temporary. It is not false. It is temporary. So material world is created and destroyed, just like a cloud in the sun. Through sun, it is evaporating water from the ocean, river water, which is merging into ocean and becoming a evaporated as clouds, and the cloud, you will see some portion of the sky as cloud, and then again disappearing, again it appears. So the same way this material world is like that, as a cloud. In the whole Brahmanda, the spiritual world is 3/4, 1/4 is material world. How much is present house is there in any country or state? Only small portion. Same way this material world, even though it's a gigantic big universe, material world, but still when it is compared to the spiritual world, it is only minute portion. So that's why we have to understand actual our whole position. And so we are so minute jivas, but we are trying to defy the rules of the God. We're trying to defy the laws of the Supreme Lord. So that's why we must follow. If you don't follow, we know if you drive wrongly, if you violate the rules, they give you a ticket and you have to pay the fine. If you do it multiple times, then driver's license is removed. Same way here also. We just not able to see it because we don't have a proper knowledge, or not able to understand that what is reality, what is temporary. So that's why this is problem. So that's the first we have to understand Supreme Lord's position. Supreme Lord's position is his mind, body, intelligence, everything is spiritual. There is nothing. Veda, Abeda. Mahapuran Puran, Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur is mentioning about this verse commentary, Manmanabha, because some of the commentators try to think that Krishna is different from his mind. So meditate on in the mind. But it is not so. Krishna and Krishna's mind, there is no difference. Krishna can do any activity with any of his parts. We can do. You can't eat with your feet. You can't eat with your eyes. But Krishna can do because everything is spiritual. Angani yasya sakalendra vritti manti pasyanti panti kalayanti charam jaganti govindamadi purusham tamam bhajan. So that's why he is spiritual. Sachidananda Vigraha, every part of his body is spiritual. He can do anything and everything with any of his parts. So that is the position of the Supreme Lord. But we are not in that position. We are Jiva, we are Anu, we are so small. Even though we are also Sachidananda Vigraha, which means full of eternality, full of knowledge, full of bliss. So that's why nobody wants to die, nobody wants miseries, nobody wants difficulties. But we are being bound to get into that because we are accepting impermanent as permanent. So that's why we are trying to enjoy with gross body during daytime. We are trying to enjoy in the night time with subtle body. We are supposed to enjoy based on the soul, in connection with super soul. And then actually real enjoyment. More you are acting on that platform, then gradually you'll feel that real happiness, internal happiness. So you can see in this world how much happiness those devotees, how much they are able to do, even though ordinary person is not able to do. Despite fasting, we can do so much all day, but ordinary person cannot do that same thing because where is the energy is coming? Super soul is giving the energy to the soul who is trying to engage in his service. So, but the same energy cannot one cannot get those who are not engaged in the service of the Lord. They will be tired by working, office work itself. They can't do anything else. So because that this energy has to come from the super soul. So that's why Krishna is stressing here, Manmanabhav Madbhakto. 6 times he is stressing that to me. That means not through any other form. Specifically, Krishna is calling out to me only. He is saying about 4 things. Think of me, become my devotee, worship me, and offer obeisance to me. 4 things. So that this should be our meditation. Meditation should be about the form of the Supreme Lord, starting with hearing. There are 9 limbs of devotion service. Sravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Marchanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedeva. Iti Pumsarpita Vishnu, Bhagavat chase Navalakshana. Bhagavati Adda, directly, not indirectly. One must directly engaging in this 9 different types of process, which is starting with hearing. Sravanam and Kirtanam, chanting, especially for this age, mind to be fixed, one must chant the holy name of the Lord, chant and hear. So, until we do that, just like if you want to develop love, first you have to hear. Like you are calling constantly, you are calling every day, you are calling your wife or husband or kids or parents, you are calling because you are in loving relationship. So unless you call out the names of the Lord, then how will you develop your love? Right now, Krishna is not in the center. If you want to bring Krishna in the center, first you have to know about him. How will you know? If you don't hear, then you will not know. If you need to know what is right, what is not right, what Shastra is telling, then you need to know first of all what Shastra is telling, what Shastra's instruction is. Then only we'll know. That's why we have to first start hearing. Then slowly we'll be able to understand actually what is right, what is not right. So Pravrittincha nivrittincha. So what is pravritti, what is nivritti? What to accept, what to reject, how to dovetail our lifestyle. So otherwise, what we believe is what we act, then it's not going to lead to the successful result at the time of leaving this body. And at that time, it's too late. So then we have to take up another body. So that's why in one example, there are 2 examples. We see that whole family except one person, his father or grandfather, I think father, everybody else taken to this process. Him only he didn't take. He didn't believe it. No, I didn't care. I don't want to chant. Neither I want to take Bhagavad Gita. No, I don't want to come to temple either. So he was of that belief. So everybody else was following. So all of a sudden one day it happened that he had to be admitted in the hospital. Then in the hospital, then he had to go into such a situation that he was seeing some of the ghastly personalities, seeing that they are trying to take him away. Basically, he's about to leave the body. They just give a glimpse. By seeing them, then he was so horrified, terrified that immediately he called out, "Bring Gita, bring Gita." Then I had to bring what happened. Then he explained, "I'm seeing these ghastly forms, being with ropes, and they look horrible, and they have the iron chains and whatnot." Then he realized. So that's why we have to understand, not at the last minute. We have to understand when we have our bodies active. So we have to understand this knowledge. No, it doesn't matter. I can do whatever I like. Yes, Shastra will give the result. based on whatever you want to do. So then result will be different. That's why Upanishad explains all this foundation knowledge. If you take to the ignorance, then result will be different. If you worship demigod, result will be different. You can go on spending your time worshipping demigod, result will be temporary. Result will be temporary and you will have to, you may not even get human birth. So then why to waste time and or lifetime in that way? And Shastra is clearly telling that without sanction of the Supreme Lord, even demigods cannot give. They themselves are temporary. They are themselves are Jiva Tattva. So what result are you going to get? So that's why one must worship the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna or Lord Vishnu, Vishnu Tattvas. So in this case, this 34th verse, Manmana Madbhakta Madhyajimam Namaskuru Mami Vaisase Yuktaivam Atmanam Matparayanam. Six, Krishna is stressing on the four things. Think of me. So how can you think of him unless you understand the form of the Lord, understand his glories, understand the holy name. So नाम अकारि बहुधा निज सर्वशक्ति तत्रार्पिता नियमिता स्मरणेन काल एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवन् ममापि दुर्दैवमीदृशी हा जनि na anuraga. We don't have taste. As Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is instructing in the 8 verses of Sikshastakam, third verse. So even though everything, all the powers of the Lord is invested in His holy name, more powerful than the Lord. Lord may take some offenses, but the holy name is even more merciful. Anybody, even Sanketam va, Parihasam va, Stovanam eva va, Vaikuntha Nama Grahanam Sarvagam Papa Vidum Hari. As soon as you chant, you hear sometimes people laugh when we are chanting, distributing books or chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamatra outside. Or this one looks like they don't have work. So they are just depending on others. And they laugh. Even if they laugh, if they heard the Hare Krishna Mahamatra, still they are getting. Even if they are joking, somebody is joking, still they are getting the benefit. Sanketam va, parihasam va, stovanam eva va. So either way, as soon as they hear, they get benefit by simply taking Vaikuntha Nama Grahanam, Sarva Agam Papam. So all the sinful activities can be nullified. That's why the chanting in the last verse of Srimad Bhagavatam also stressing that point. Nama Sankirtanamasya Sarva Papa Pranasanam Pranamo Dukka Samatannamami Harim Param. So that's why we have to take up the process of chanting. Initially it is mechanical. Did anybody wants to go to school in the beginning when they are child? They want to play. Nobody wants to go to school. Mechanically you'll go because your parents are forcing you. Same thing with this process. Nobody wants to take only Krishna Prasad. Nobody wants to dance in front of the Lord. Nobody wants to chant because 99% are in mode of ignorance. Then they can't accept this process because that's what everybody is surrounded by these conceptions and ideas. Then they don't want to follow. But that is not ignorance is bliss. Till the point you know that once you start facing reactions and difficulties, you see, then you start realizing actually why I am suffering. That question has to come, but it will only come after a so long period. Sometimes it may take many millions of lifetimes. So that's why it is very important to understand the actual transcendental knowledge. Then it will help. We are actually will not become the loser. We will get the greatest benefit by being in touch with the holy name of the Lord. So that's the first aspect Krishna is mentioning is hearing and chanting and hearing about Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and various other books. Then we will be able to understand the actual real transcendental position of the living entity and our relationship with the Supreme Lord, our loving relationship. Then every relation, whatever we may have, friends and with the family, the parents, everything can be beautified because you see everything as everybody is a enjoyed by Krishna. Everybody you will see that they are part and parcel of Krishna. Then you have loving. Otherwise, this enviousness, jealousy, all these things are there because you're always seeing that as a competition. You're always seeing on the bodily platform. That's why these things are there. But more you are connecting with Supreme Lord Sri Krishna in the center. So that's why, without expecting any result, you offer. You engaging in the service. You help others. So that's why those who are practitioners of devotion service, and those who are mature, they don't expect any results. Their duty is to give Krishna to others. And the result, what will happen, Krishna will take care. Krishna's job. Our duty is to only do. So because they know that it depends on Krishna. When he will give mercy, that's when the conditioned soul can actually aware of his real transcendental position. So that's why it start with Manmana, think of me and become my devotee. As you offer obeisances to me. So that's the obeisance, even though it's a simple process. When you offer obeisances, you at least you have some theoretical understanding that is higher than me. So Supreme Lord is standing there. I should offer obeisances mechanically. But later on, it has to transform into just like the gopis. Man manaska tektati vita. They have given up everything. They are running towards the Lord, even though they have wife, husband, kids, and they are doing. As soon as they hear they heard the flute and they are running. They give up their whole life just to serve the Supreme Lord. So they are so much in attachment to Supreme Lord. So obviously we are not at that level. There is nothing to be renounced. In Arjuna's case, as Krishna is telling, the way you must do is you must engage in your fighting. At the same time, you have to think of me. In this verse, Krishna is telling, you have to do the fighting is your actual duty. You must do that fighting, but at the same time, you have to think of me. You have to do your fighting for me. That's what Krishna means here. Think of me, become my devotee. That means all your actions are surrendered to me. Your results are offered to me. But you must do the duty. You can't give up your duty. So everything can be done. Means your job can be done. Your family can be taken care. But you must keep Krishna in the center. Result must be offered to Krishna. And then there is no implication. So one who can hear with rapt attention, only one whose mind is fixed. Whose mind is fixed, only one whose actual is eating, sleeping, mating, defending, is that these four activities are pure, then his mind is pure. If his mind is pure, then he will hear with rapt attention. Otherwise rapt attention is not possible for anybody. So that this is a chain reaction. One, if one wants to hear with rapt attention, that means his mind has to be pure. If one mind has to be pure, that means his eating, sleeping, mating, defending has to be pure. So that's why it requires some uh, transformation of these activities of ordinary. That's why one must take only Krishna Prasad gradually. Initially, we may not be, but gradually we have to come to this process. Ignas istas, santo, muchante, sarva kilvya, munjate to agam pap pachante atma karana. So if you don't take what is being offered to Krishna, then we take sinful activity. That's what it is. A reaction is there, whether you like it or not like it. That is the Shastra's instruction. So Yes, Shastra Vidim Usrija Vartate Kam Karna Siddhim Navapnode Nalapate Param. Minute someone gives up the injunctions of Shastra and violates it, then he has to face reaction and he will not get happiness neither in this life or not next life. So that is Shastra, just like the government's rules, one who violates, then he has to face reaction. He may evade it, he may get away with it somehow or the other, because it's in material world, you may get away, but you can't get away from the laws are so strict, stringent. Durga Devi has 10 hands, she has 10 instruments, all 10 directions, everywhere she has. So no one can escape from Durga Devi. This is called Durga Dham. So that's why we have to follow what is being mentioned in the Shastra. We must know what is there and what is the instruction. And now gradually we have to apply it slowly and gradually. So that's a think of me, become my devotee, worship me, and offer obeisances to me. So now one must now go to the meditation on the Vrindavan Dham. Then we can meditate. If you don't know, then how will you meditate? So in Srimad Bhagavatam, beautiful description is given about the Supreme Lord's beautiful form. Krishna wears a pearl necklace that appears like a chain of white herons around his neck. The peacock feather in his hair appears like a rainbow. His yellow garments appear like a lightning in the sky. Krishna appears like a newly risen cloud, and the gopis appear like newly grown grasses in the field. The constant rains of nectarian pastimes fall upon these newly grown grains, and it seems that the gopis are receiving beams of life from Krishna exactly as grain receives life from the rains. This is a beautiful description as well. The Supreme Lord, personality of God, Sri Krishna, is full in six opulences, including his attractive beauty, which engages him in conjugal love with the gopis. Such sweetness is quintessence of his qualities. Sukadeva Goswami, the son of Vyasadeva, has described these pastimes of Krishna throughout Srimad Bhagavatam. Further described about Krishna's beautiful form. I missed. O friend, Vrindavana is spreading the glory of earth, having obtained the treasure of the lotus feet of Krishna, O son of Devaki. The peacocks are dance madly when they hear Govinda's flute, and when other creatures see them from the hilltops, they all become stunned. Govinda Vedum Anumatta Mayura Nrityam Prekshadri Sanu Avaratanaya Samasta Sattvam, where this has been described that Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains Krishna Lila. In Vrindavana, the peacocks request Krishna, Govinda, please make us dance. Thus, Krishna plays his flute, and they surround him in a circle and dance in time with the rhythm of his melody. And while standing on the mist of their dancing, he also sings and dances. Then those peacocks who are fully satisfied with his musical performance, out of gratitude, offer for his pleasure their own divine feathers. In the usual manner of musical performance, Krishna gladly accepts these presentations and places a feather upon the turban atop his head. Gentle animals such as deer and does greatly relish the transcendental entertainment presented by Krishna. And to get a good view, they flock to the peaks of hills. Then, as they watch the breathtaking program, they become stunned in ecstasy. You can see that how this transformations of love is happening between peacocks and Krishna and these deers and does. Further described. Blessed are those foolish deer because they have approached Maharaj Nanda's son, who is gorgeously dressed and is playing on his flute. Indeed, both the doe and the bucks worship the Lord with looks of love and affection. Various animals, how they are interacting with Krishna. Krishna's beauty and character create a festival for all women. Indeed, when the demigods wives flying in the aeroplane with their husband catch sight of him and hear his resonant flute song, their hearts are shaken by Cupid. They become so bewildered. Upon their upraised ears as vessel, the cows are drinking the nectar of the flute song flowing out of Krishna's mouth. The calves, their mouths full of milk from their mother's moist nipples, and stand still as they take Govinda within themselves through their tear-filled eyes and embrace him within their hearts. O mother, in the forest all the birds have risen into the beautiful branches of the trees to see Krishna. With closed eyes, they are simply listening in silence to sweet vibrations of his flute. They are not attracted by any other sound. Surely these birds are on the same level as great sages. So it's all because of the transcendental emotion coming from this um, flute sound, including even the rivers, even though seemingly non-moving entities, seemingly achetana, not conscious, but see how they are reacting. In spiritual world, everything has a consciousness. When the rivers hear the flute song of Krishna, their minds begin to desire him, and thus the flow of their currents is broken, and their waters are agitated, moving around in whirlpools. Then, with the arms of their waves, the river embrace Murari's lotus feet, and holding on to them, present offerings of lotus flowers. So, in this way, you can see the beautiful descriptions of the spiritual world, what happens in the spiritual world, how everybody is attracted, the does and ducks and the different animals in the rivers and the peacocks, the cows, are always attracted by the Supreme Lord's form. Another place we're seeing here. Favoring the gopis, Krishna rides on chariots of their mind just to receive loving service from them. He attracts their mind like Cupid. Therefore, he is also called Madan Mohan, the attractor of Cupid. Cupid has 5 arrows representing form, taste, smell, and sound and touch. Krishna is the owner of these 5 arrows, and with his Cupid-like beauty, he conquers the minds of the gopis. Though they are very proud of their super excellent beauty, becoming new Cupid, Krishna attracts their minds and engages in the rasa dance. When Lord Krishna wanders in the forest of Vrindavan with his friends on an equal level, earlier was Madhur Rasa, now is Sakya Rasa. On an equal level, there are innumerable cows grazing. This is another of the Lord's blissful enjoyment. When he plays on the flute, all living entities, including trees, plants, animals, human beings, tremble and are saturated with jubilation. Tears flow constantly from their eyes. Krishna wears, in this we read, the peacock feathers. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is full in six opulences, including the attractive beauty, which engages him in conjugal love with gopis. Such sweetness is the quintessence of his qualities. This we have read. And this way, the beautiful description of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna's beauty is described. And also, we see that how this mind is engaged in another pastime, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by one of the devotee who is poor, but he is able to meditate using his mind because mind intelligence falls into subtle body. So how mind should be meditating on the Lord's form and this after hearing about the Lord's form, how he is decorated. Let's see. One day, Narsimhananda Brahmachari meditated about the elevated road made of corals, pearls, gold, and jewels and various gems. For the pleasure of Krishna, he was conceiving of a road extending all the way to Mathura. This is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taken sannyas and is ready to go to Vrindavan. So now Narsimhananda Brahmachari, great devotee of Lord Krishna, he was thinking, he was meditating on Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then within his mind he is doing this activity. Before Narsimhananda could finish his road, the Supreme Lord came to take him back home, back to Godhead. Narsimhananda felt sorry because he had only completed the road as far as Kanai Natshala. Kanai Natshala is called Gupta Vrindavan. This is in Bengal, 200 miles from Calcutta. Beautiful place. ISKCON acquired the land and they built temple. I'll show you the pictures. Aware of this road, Lord Chaitanya suddenly changed the course and moved along the pathway. None of his associates knew where Gauranga was going. Soon Gaura reached Kanai Natasala and returned to his original path. The Lord's mysterious movements caused Paramananda Puri to inquire about them. Explaining everything, Lord Chaitanya said, Narasimhananda created a lavishly decorated, elevated road within his mind to facilitate my journey from Purushottam Kshetra to Mathura. To fulfill his devotion desire, we traveled on this raised road. Lochandas relishes relating this blissful, inconceivable pastimes of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. In Nilachal, Lord Chaitanya and his followers tasted the ecstasy of Harinam and Sankirtan day after day. Gradually, devotees from different countries come to stay with Lord Gauranga. One day, Lord Gauranga suddenly decided to visit Mathura. His eagerness grew to the point of madness when Lord Chaitanya began the journey. His ecstasy intensified and he stayed running like a lion, and his associate couldn't keep pace. When Gaurahari went through the Jharkhand forest, he made the birds, beasts, the trees, the stones cry along with them. Forgetting their natural enmity, the deer, tigers danced around happily. All the forest animals attained the perfection of life by receiving the rare gift of Krishna Prema directly from Lord Chaitanya. Gradually, Gauranga reached the holy city of Varanasi, the home of many elevated sannyasis. He paid respect to Vishweswara Shiva and walked on to Prayag, where he took darshan of Bindu Madhav at Prayag. The compassionate Lord Chaitanya met Rupa and Sanatana Goswamis and empowered them to spread Krishna consciousness. After taking darshan of Akshayavata, Lord Chaitanya bathed in Triveni, the confluence of Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati. Determined and moving like a mad elephant, Mahaprabhu moved on towards Vrindavan. From Prayag, he came to Agra. He visited the ashram of Jamadagni. He also saw Renuka Grama, where he was named after, which was named after Jamadagni's wife Renuka. It was the birthplace of Parsuram, the great warrior among the Dasavatars. After taking darshan of river Yamuna, who always flows towards Vrindavan, Mahaprabhu went to Rajgram. At last, Mahaprabhu entered Gokula, Vrindavan. Now he went completely mad in love of God. Gauranga's heart flooded with Krishna Prema. With great endeavor, he choked his feelings. Then it is describing the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Vrindavan pastimes. But in this way, we can see that how a devotee can meditate on the Lord's form. But one must see, that's why one must observe that absorption starting from lotus feet. Let me show you those pictures so that I can. 1 minute. This is the Radha Madhav pictures, beautiful pictures of Radha Madhav from Panchatattva with sandalwood, chandan, they have decorated. See this beautiful picture. Once you start meditating, looking at this picture every day, see the how gorgeously they dressed with the different design, different flowers, different outfits, different backdrops, different hanging of flowers, just like Vrindavan. So then will be the mind automatically becomes so peaceful by just looking and taking darshan of the Lord. So this one is with sitar, different outfits, and there's a lotus feet of Radha Madhav. So reddish, pinkish lotus feet. So there's a beautiful turban. So peacock feather was not able to see. So this is how the Lord is worshipped with the flowers, fresh flowers and different fresh and different stones. As you see the earrings and everything. Lord is decorated in this way with jewelries and with flowers specifically, whatever is available. So this is again with sandalwood paste. So this is the Panchatattva we looked at. This is again another Radha Madhava's outfit in different way. Let me open the other one. Kanai Natashala, Narsingh Dev. Where is that? Where did it go? Yeah, this is the Narsingh Dev deity in Kanai Natashala. And this is the Radha Krishna deity in Kanai Natashala, Gupta Vrindavan, where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met Rupa Goswami. This is the place they met. So this is the place ISKCON installed. So brought the land. So Radha Krishna deities. But one must meditate on the form of the Lord so that they can slowly, gradually develop some taste and attraction. Unless you see it and unless you see the arati offer various items, indirectly you can do. If you are a pujari, if you are a practitioner in the temple, you can do it directly. But indirectly, when you bring fruits, when you see the arati, when you dance in front of the Lord, when you offer obeisance to the Lord, all these are the forms where you can think of Him, you can worship Him. This is indirect worship. Or you can have at home deities or pictures. You can offer tulsi leaves. You can touch the feet. And you can offer obeisances at home also. But if the situation is not in congenial of Krishna consciousness, at least you come to temple and you offer obeisances. You can see the arati. You can dance. You can take Krishna prasad. In this way, gradually we become purified, and Krishna will be in the center, and all our activities will be dovetailed into Krishna's activities. It becomes Krishnized. Anasaktasya vishan yatarho payinjita nirbandhe Krishna sambandhe yukta vairagyam uchite. So by dovetailing your activities of your material activities into Krishna's activities, by offering the results, then automatically it will become spiritual. So at that point, nothing will be agitated. As in the case of Lord Brahma himself is instructing his own grandson, Maharaj Priyavrata, he didn't want to take up. He didn't want to become a king. He was thinking, I will renounce because Narada was instructed, I will go back to home, back to Godhead. I will not do any duty. Why to get into this simple activity? Why to get into this conditioning and problems of this material world? Let me just simply engage in spiritual activities only. Then Lord Brahma had to come down because there is nobody. His grandfather Swayambhu Manu went to forest, already is retiring. Then he has no other person to handle, take care of this material world, ruling the material world. And he himself had to come down. Lord Brahma had to come down along with the others, great rishis, and go to Gandhamavan Parvat where Maharaj Priyavata is there. So then he has instructed that you must engage in the service of the Lord, which means you must rule this kingdom. You can get married and you can have children. There it is a clear instruction is given 5.1.19. Lord Brahma is instructing, my dear Maharaj Priyavata, seek shelter inside the opening in the lotus feet of the Lord, whose navel is also like a lotus. Thus, conquer the six sense organs. This is the clear point. Unless you meditate on the lotus feet of the Lord, before you start chanting on the Lord, there's a verse. You must chant and remember this verse. Nikila Sruti Mauli Ratnamala Adviti Nirajata Pada Pankajanta Ai Mukta Kuler Upasyamanam Paritastvam Harinama Samsrayam. The beads, when you are moving down very slowly, gently, you have to move down. Each bead is like you are touching the lotus feet of the Lord. Rupa Goswami in Namastaka, first verse is speaking about this, or second verse is speaking about this. These beads are nothing but the tips of the toenails of the Supreme Lord's lotus feet. So that's why it is so important to, whenever you go to temple, when you are taking darshan of the Lord, look at the lotus feet of the Lord first, how it's pinkish reddish. More you are observing that, more you take that into the mind and hearts. Gradually, when you are chanting, you will be able to meditate on that point, that you are rather not moving the beads mechanically, rather you are actually massaging the lotus feet of the Lord. So in that meditation, when you start to hear, then gradually you will develop attachment, you will develop taste. Until that point, it becomes so mechanical. You just finish the round and go back and do your thing. So that's why taking the darshan of the Lord is very, very important, and more intensely. The opening eyes, closing eyes, it is helping. Definitely, we are getting benefit. But more should be done in this absorption. That's why in this verse clearly is mentioning that seek shelter inside the opening in the lotus feet of the Lord, whose navel is also like a lotus. Thus conquer the six sense organs, the mind, knowledge acquiring senses. Accept material enjoyment because the Lord extraordinarily has ordered you to do this. Because you are all Prajapatis, Brahma is Prajapati, coming down in his expansion, Maharaj Prajapata also has to accept this procreation, get married and have kids and rule the kingdom. If he's not going to do, then who's going to do? So you have a great responsibility. So that's why he's instructing. So further, he's telling, Lord is ordering you to do this. You will thus always be liberated from the material association and be able to carry out the Lord's orders in your constitutional position, because you are operating under the guidance of the devotee. There, it is meant, there are three. Yeah. So that's why Lord Brahma here in advises Maharaj Priyavata to remain transcendental in this material world. How? By the absorption in the lotus feet of the Lord. When a bumblebee enters the opening of a lotus flower and drinks its honey, it is fully protected by the petals of the lotus. Same way, the bee is undisturbed by sunshine and other external influence. Similarly, one who always seeks shelter at the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead is protected from all dangers. It is therefore said in Srimad Bhagavatam that Samasrataye Padapallava Plavam Mahat Pada Punya Iso Murare Bhavam Budir Vatsa Padam Param Padam Yat Padam Natesha. For one who has taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, everything becomes easier. Indeed, even crossing the great ocean of nescience is exactly like crossing the hoof print created by a calf. For such a devotee, there is no question of remaining in a place where every step is dangerous. So our actual duty is to carry out the supreme order of the personality of Godhead. We are fixed in our determination to carry out the supreme order of the Lord. We are always secure, regardless of where we are situated, whether we are in wherever we are situated. We may be doing our office work and business and whatnot, all those things. But if Krishna is in the center, if our fixed mind is fixed on the lotus feet of the Lord, whatever activities we may do, but mind will be dovetailed in this way, then gradually all our activities will become perfect. As in the case of Maharaj Priyavrata, because he is operating under the guidance of Lord Brahma, then he will not be implicated because he is being guided under the authority we are operating. That's why we must take shelter of the spiritual master, his representatives. As long as you are following under the direction of the Supreme Lord and his representative, then you are always under the shelter. You are always under protection. Every living entity has the constitutional position of being an eternal servant of God. Therefore, Lord Brahma advised Maharaj Priyavata, be situated in your original position as an eternal servant of the Lord. If you carry out his orders, you will never fall even in the midst of material enjoyment. See that clear statement. So, so be, so don't be, don't, no need to be afraid of anything. Even though we might be missed of so much material enjoyment, but if you carry out the orders and follow the instructions of the spiritual master and his representatives, initially we may not understand things, but you gradually hear, more you hear, moments of association, as we see that this Ambarish Maharaj's brother, he was not listening. Ambarish Maharaj is a great devotee. He started giving instruction, but he didn't want to pay attention. No, I don't want to hear, because that too is a family member. Then he told Narada Muni, I am trying to deliver him, but he is not listening. So you do something. Then Narada Muni said, okay, all right. So he went to his house and then he was calling him. He's not even opening. He's there only out. He's not even opening the door, making him enter. Then Narada Muni only thing he said is that you ask this question, that what will be the result of a person who is associating with pure devotee? What will be the results of association of a pure devotee for moments? Only few moments. What is the result? This is the question. Uh, you can ask. Remember that. Then next day or so, or in the same day, he passed away. His time is over. His lifetime is over. He has been taken to Amraj because of his sinful activities. He never want to listen from Amresh Maharaj or any devotee. He has been taken to the Amraj and to the hellish condition of life. Then Amraj asked, "What do you want to do? Any you have a last wish?" Then he remembered because Narada Muni has given his association, even though this person unqualified, he didn't want to take his association, but Narada Muni still he gave his association, being merciful. Then, because of his moments of association, he was able to remember this question. Then he asked this question, I have this question. This is my wish. Please answer this question. Then Yamaraj was bewildered. Then I myself don't know. Then he went to Lord Brahma, then Lord Shiva. They all went to Vaikuntha. Then this person also, they have taken him. Then, so obviously he has entered. So this is the result. That Shastra is explaining that because you have taken moments of association of Narada Muni, pure devotee of the Lord, you are able to go all the way to Vaikuntha. You are being purified. So that's why sometimes we don't need to look for mercy. Means it is a causeless mercy. Even though whether qualified or not qualified, if you are receiving mercy, then take it, accept that, and then try to follow as much as possible the instruction of the spiritual master and the authority. Then gradually, actually, more and more mercy will come, and it automatically changes our lifestyle and actions, and everything gets purified, and will get the ultimate happiness. So, come atindriyam daitya deha yogena dehina. So, actually, atindriya means beyond this material sense happiness, the ultimate happiness. It's hard to describe this ultimate happiness. Intense happiness you get that you don't want to do anything uh, without in relation with Krishna. Everything you'll do. If you go to grocery shop, you'll think, what can I offer to Krishna? You'll go to shopping mall, you'll think, what can I buy for Krishna? You will like, he likes yellow dress, pitambar. Then can I buy this yellow cloth for the Lord? Or what can I buy for Prabhupada? Maybe a socks, maybe a orange cloth and put underneath his seat. Whatever. So you constantly think, or maybe a jewelry or bracelet or whatever, watch. Constantly you'll think wherever you go, you're always in relation with Krishna. If you're working, you're trying to offer, okay, with this money, what can I offer? Maybe in this month, I may offer some activities for temple, or at home, I may buy something to worship the Lord. I may buy a jasmine garland or some flowers. I'll make some nice garland and offer. So in this way, we'll constantly think and meditate. If we don't have a knowledge, if we don't hear, then there is no conception. There is no idea how to dovetail our activities, how to transfer our activities with Krishna in the center. Then constant anxiety is there. Constant anxiety will come because material world is, as it's mentioned, anityam asukam lokam. Previous word 33. Anityam is temporary. Asukam means threefold miseries are there. Krishna himself is telling that dukkhalam as asutam. So whoever is there, it is not gentleman's place because you have rejected the Supreme Lord. Free will is there, and that's why this world is created. You can do whatever you like within that limited time, whatever 50, 60 years in Kali Yuga, the age limit changes. Everything is relative in this world, material world. Now, to the degree you can enjoy, again you have to take up another body. And this is going on with different family members and uh, different circumstances, different countries, different places. We are moving from one branch to another branch. So that's why we have to understand this transcendental knowledge and start applying it slowly and gradually. Then we don't need to think about the past, what has happened. Don't think about the future either. Be in the current, be always optimistic, and be always trying to follow what is been instructed by the sadhu and shastra and guru. So how will you know what is actually shastra is instructing? You have to look at the result. So Prabhupada's transformation. How many people he is able to transform? Forget about Indians, but he is able to transform the Western world. They don't even have any clue of what is body, what is soul. They don't have any clue about who is Krishna. For them, if they is able to transform, this Valena Parichate, look at the results, look at the transformation. Unless it's pure, how can he transform these many people? So that's what we have to look at. So then we must follow. If we know that this person has transformed this whole world, everywhere, all over the world, to into Krishna consciousness, then so what is wrong in not following? If it is going to help us, we don't need to renounce anything. Then what is wrong? We have given enough lifetimes to so many material desires, so many things. Why not this lifetime to submit to Krishna? What is the problem? What are we going to lose? We're not losing. Krishna is not taking our money, nor is taking our home, nor is taking our car. Everything is there. So what is the problem? What is the distress? Where is the difficulty? Prabhupada asks again and again, what is the difficulty? What difficulty you have that you are not able to chant? What difficulty is there not able to come to temple? What difficulty you have? There is no difficulty. It is so simple process. Krishna is making it easier. If you want to worship demigod, it's much complex. You have to do so many things. But in this case, Krishna is only telling that you just offer a water, a leaf, or a fruit. Any poor man also can do it. That's all Krishna is saying. Worship me, think of me. Okay, you don't do anything. Just within mind, you contemplate on me, you think of me always. Then that will perfect your life. But because mind is absorbed in so many things, we are not able to do. Because we have to first hear, you have to take darshan, you have to worship him with tulsi leaves or worship with arati paraphernalia. You can bring a cloth, you can bring a fruit, you can bring whatever vegetables, you can bring so many things. Or if you are experienced in something, you can offer your services, electric work or carpentry work or whatever, or technology work. So many services you can offer to Krishna in whatever way. So there is no restriction in so many different ways you can engage your activities. So that's why Sri Prabhupada seeing the spark. So many people, Matajis also came, then some are from different countries, immediately engage them. Oh, you are from Italy. Oh, we need translation to into Italy. And he engaged them right away. So like that, he has engaged so many people. So China and Japan also, that's what happened. Someone who has come first time from China, then Prabhupada engaged Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, he engaged that person and they were able to translate the books into Chinese. So how to dovetail our activities? Nothing to be renounced. Krishna is not telling throughout Bhagavad Gita, nowhere, not a single place he is telling Arjuna, you renounce your. Arjuna is rather telling that I want to go to forest. I don't want to deal with. I don't want to kill. It's too much disturbance. I have too much agitation to my mind. No, Krishna is rather telling you better work, and but also think of me. If you work but you don't think of me, then it is implication where you are getting the reaction. But rather, if you think of me and do the work, I will take the reaction. So how beautiful it is. You do the work, but any reaction will come. But at the same time, you will enjoy the positive things also you will give. Krishna will give more results to whatever you need. Ananyas chintayanto mam ejana paripada tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshayam vahamyam. If Krishna himself is taking care of so many people, even in the jungle and in African country, so many big these elephants need so much food to eat. But who is supplying? Krishna is supplying to everybody, whether they are asking or not asking, even to atheists also. If he is doing that, then why not he does it to the devotee who is trying to surrender to him? Definitely will do. So that doesn't mean that everything will be rosy and nice and happy. There will be no difficulty. There will no miseries. No, there will be. There will be, because we have done till now for many lifetimes. Then there will be. We will be having some difficulties, some disturbances. But Krishna will use that in our basically for our own development. Actually, he will give it is like instructions. You will learn lessons from those situations, and rather you will improve, you will develop more attachment to Krishna. Is burning our sinful activity. That's what it is. He is burning our sinful activity. Instead of big thing happens, small thing will happen. Instead of big accident has to happen, we may cut a finger or something small to that like that. He will minimize it. So the reaction has to come. We have to face the reaction, but he will minimize to the much smaller scale where we can handle the situation. So that's why. So Krishna is mentioning it. Karmani nirdahat kinchita bhakti bhajam govindamadi purusham pramaham bhajami. whatever bank balance, prarabdha, kotam, bijam, whatever many lifetimes, everything will be born. Everything will be born only by devotion service. No other process. Not through karma, not through jnana, not through yoga. Only by bhakti. केचित् केवलया भक्त्या वासुदेव प्राण अगम दुन्मम तिकारस्लेन निहारम एव भास्कर. Only by bhakti. No other process can burn up your karma through so many other means. It is not possible. Through austerity, through charity, through penance, it is not possible. You can only atone for some activities for a limited period, but you can't actually remove the proclivities, what is there in the heart, what is there in the mind, what is there in the intellect, until you submit to the authority. Until you submit to the authority, until you use your mind, use your body, use your senses in the service of the Lord. It doesn't matter whether you're engineer or doctor or whatever position, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra, what background you are coming from, which country you are coming from, whether you're male or female or what body you have, none of this matters. Only matters is whether you are in the service of the Lord, whether you are under the guidance and protection of the holy name and a representative of the Lord. That is the only thing it matters. ज्ञाने प्रयास उदपस्य नमन्ते एव सन्मुखारितां भवदीय वार्तां स्थाने स्तुति गतां तनुवान् मनोभिर. Doesn't matter in Kali Yuga, wherever you are situated, wherever you are situated, whatever work you are doing, it doesn't mean you do the work in liquor shop. That is going to be implication. If you try to work, I'm going to get more money. I can work in this way. I can invest in these kind of places, some poultry shop or this or that. No, it is not a good practice. Shastra is clearly telling that implication will be so much that not only this lifetime, next lifetime, further many lifetimes you will have to suffer. It may be you may get a lot of money, but the suffering will be there for more lifetimes. So that's why everything has to be understood from what Shastra is telling. It's not about just money. Money is not going to give the actual real happiness. Real happiness, money is not cannot give. So Jnane Prayas Utapasya Namante Eva. By hearing the holy name from the pure devotees, wherever you are situated, you be there only. You don't need to change any of your positions. You don't need to change your job, neither you change your family situation. All you have to do is use your body, mind, senses. That is Sanmukaritam Bhavadiya Vartam Sthane Stuti Gatam Tanu Van Manovir. Tanu means body, Mano means mind, and Van Mano and speech. These three things used in the service of Krishna. That's all you have to do. And slowly and gradually you will perfect. To the degree you do this, to the degree within this one lifetime, you can perfect and go back to Godhead, back to Vrindavan Dham, or whatever rasa we have, whether Ayodhya Dham, Dwarka Dham, Mathura Dham, Jagannath Puri Dham, or Vaikuntha Dham in the spiritual world. So, depending on what rasa we may have, that will be revealed when we come to the higher stage. Right now, we are not able to reveal, not able to get that revelation. It will be revealed because right now impurities are there. So fire has to be in touch with fire. You can't, if you want, somebody has to walk into the fire. Unless you are of fire quality, you can't enter into fire. You will be burned. Same way, Lord is called as fire because no impurities is as good as fire. If you want to be enter into the spiritual world, you have to be as good as fire. So that means no impurities can be there. So that means right now we are in iron. So iron has to be in touch with fire. That fire is nothing but a holy name. That fire is nothing but a pure devotee of the Lord. By taking moments of association of a pure devotee, whether in person or his voice, his sound vibration, anything coming, whether you understand or not understand, by hearing, just like Narada Muni is giving to this Amrish Maharaj's cousin or brother, he didn't hear, he didn't want to take anybody's association. But Narada Muni himself has given, out of his causeless mercy, he has given association and he is able to go back to Vaikuntha. So that is the mercy of pure devotee. So even though you may not want to it, but if pure devotee wants to give his mercy, then your life will be transformed. But we should be at least to some degree receptive. Ideally, we should be receptive to accept that mercy. So accept that mercy and follow it. So that will be helpful in transforming our life. So that's what this verse is teaching. Think of me, become my devotee, worship me, and offer obeisances to me. At least we can start with the easy one, offering obeisances. Whenever you come to temple, try to offer obeisances to a representative of the Lord, Mr. Prabhupada, and go to the other side of the deities and then offer. Always left side. Energy is always on the left side of the Lord. You look at Radha Krishna, Sitaram, Lakshmi Narayan. where is energy? Energy is there always to the left side of Krishna. So that's why we have to be, whenever you offer obeisance, we have to be on the left side, not straight, because you are putting the feet to Garuda or Prabhupada or the demigods. That's what it is. You can't offer obeisance straight. So that is putting the feet to his representative. So that's why we have to do to the left side of our body, of our businesses. So for a male, it is a full dandavat, which is 10 limbs of the body is touching the ground. For women, it's half, 5 limbs of the body touching the ground. So that is what Shastra is instructing. Everything is based on Shastra. Nothing is whimsical here. Everything is what is mentioned as Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. That's what we follow. Mm, under the guidance of the pure devotee. So that's when the results will be transformation. If you follow your own ideas, then the results will be different. Yeah. So that's why you have to follow. Always you follow your boss, your manager in the office. You follow the government. You follow the this tax department, irrigation department, water department. Same way here also same thing. You have to follow the sadhu and shastra and guru. By this process, automatically, it will transform our life and perfect our life and go back to Godhead in this lifetime itself. Let's give this lifetime, one lifetime to Krishna, and then go back, enjoy the eternal happiness while being here in this world, in this body, and then once we give up the body, we can go back. So, what difficulty is there? So now you can ask your questions if you have any difficulties you have. Please let me know. Let me unmute. If anyone has any questions, difficulties, confusions, comments, corrections. Everybody understood? Will be able to practice it without difficulty. Is that what I'm hearing from all of you?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji, any questions, comments?
Very nice class, Prabhuji. I didn't know that when you explained that the energy we should always do dhanva from the left side. It was a I never heard about it before, so it was many things were nice, but this was something that we didn't know. I didn't know about it at all. But I remember we always do dhanva to Prabhupada from the left side.
Yes.
Uh, Prabhuji, one question I had that. When we go to other temples, we always do danvat to Prabhupada, not like because the deities are on the like they're just opposite.
Correct.
And even when we worship, when we do danvat to Lord Krishna, we keep on our we don't do like straight. We do from the
Correct.
from the reason only is being because Prabhupada is behind us. That's why, or is there another reason
No.
behind it?
Actual reason is this one. Always energy is on the left side. When you also sit for any yajna or sacrifices, anyway, when you get married, also same thing. Always, woman is to the left of the husband, wife is left towards the husband. So because it is coming from the scriptures, and as you see, Radha Krishna, Lakshmi Narayan, Sitaram, always it's like that. To the left side only energy is there. Energetic is the master, is the supreme. So that way we have to follow. So that's why we offer a business left side. Otherwise, you are putting the right side is spiritual master is there. When you are offering deity is here, you are offering your body toward left to the deity, and the right is spiritual master is there. And that is what understanding is. Left side you are offering obeisance. Same time you are offering obeisance to the right side. The spiritual master is there. But if you do like this, and you are offering obeisance, but your feet is touching actually in ISKCON Brahma Mahatma Gaudism, you see Prabhupada, representative of all demigods. Or if you go to the other temples, generally you will have Garuda Stamba, which you are putting the feet to the Garuda. So that's why it is Shastra is not recommending to do that straight obeisances like that. It should be to the left. You should offer obeisances.
Got it, Prabhuji, got it. Understood. Because wherever now, because we are so used to, when we do this, we are so used to this practice that if we were to go to another temple, like Balaji temple, someplace,
Yeah.
uh, people don't follow this. So
Yes.
and but we are used to following this way. Uh,
There
so I
also you
had
can do
this
that.
doubt.
There also you can do same left. Don't do straight. You can do any temple you go, even to the demigods temple also. You can still do because they are higher than us. We should have the proper respect. Prabhupada himself went to, I think, Juhu or some place. If I'm trying to recollect. Lord Hanuman was there, and some other demigods was there, and then Prabhupada just passed just like that. Rather, he offered his respects and with reverence, and then moved on. So there's always, because they are higher than us, we need to have proper respect. So actually, I don't want to confuse, but in the spiritual world, the description is there. In the spiritual world, many of these demigods are there. Just like Lord Shiva, Sadashiva is there in the spiritual world. And then Sadashiva's expansion as Shambhu is there, doing the activity of creation. And his expansion, third expansion is Rudras. They are called Jiva Tattvas, who are there in this material world. So in this way, three levels of Lord Shiva is there. Same thing, Lord Ganesha, Saraswati, but that Saraswati is not same as the Saraswati here. So that Saraswati is called Suddha Saraswati in the spiritual world, consort of the Lord. So the Saraswati we have here in this material world is different. These are demigods of Jiva Tattva in this material world. Because every millennium, every time Manu changes, different demigods take the positions, just like the departments, just like the job. We become a CEO or director, or vice president, whatever the case may be. We are qualified, we are being given that post. Same way, these demigods are also based on the qualification for 100 lifetimes. If one performs a certain prescribed duties exactly as per Shastra, he can be given Lord Brahma's position. For Indra's position, there is a different qualification, like that Shastra is giving. So, so these are the positions for Jivas. Sometimes when the Jiva is not qualified, there is no person who is qualified to take up these demigod position. Lord Vishnu himself will become Lord Brahma in that case, or Lord Indra in that case, because the things has to happen, because they have to take care of the responsibilities. Lord himself will expand and take that position for that particular millennium. Right now, Vaivasvata Manu is ruling in this Kali Yuga right now. Second Parartha is going on. That's why whenever you sit, everything you have to observe. Don't just blindly do anything. Whenever you sit in the sacrifices, there's a certain mantras are chanted, right? Svetavaraha kalpe vaivasvanantare dvitiya pradam pade jambudvipe bharatkhande, like this they chanted, because currently Vaivasvata mantra is going on. In that Dvitiya Parartha is going on. Lord Brahma's second period, which is 100 lifetimes, 100 years. Within that, the 51st year is running right now. And then there are certain demigods' names are also given. Indra's name is Purandara. The sun god, the Vaivasvata sun god's name is Vivaswan. His son's name is Vaivasvata. That's why the Manu's name is Vaivasvata. Everything is there. Everything is described in Srimad Bhagavatam or Brahma Samhita or other Vedic scriptures. There is no ambiguity anywhere. There is no confusion. Only confusion if you don't hear from the bona fide Acharya, bona fide Sampradaya, then you have a confusion. Otherwise, there is no confusion. Everything is very crystal clear. From especially Prabhupada books, everything is clear. So it is confidently it says there is no I may, I think. These questions, these words you will not even see in Prabhupada books, because he has seen the truth. He is in direct communication with the Supreme Lord. He has come from spiritual world, so that's why there is no ambiguity. And Shastra Krishna himself is telling to Uddhava that Acharyamam Vijaniyam na avamanyeta karijit na buddhya na asuyeta sarva deva mayo guru. That's why Sri Prabhupada Murti is there, right, the right in front of the Lord, because he is a representative of all demigod. Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, great personalities. They are not ordinary people. Ramanujacharya has been explained as Lord Ananta's expansion. Madhvacharya is explained as Bhima or Vayu's expansion. So Prabhupada is also explained in Brahmana Purana or another Purana, is empowered Acharya who is going to come in Kali Yuga and expand the glories of the Supreme Lord, distribute his mercy. So everything is based on Shastra. There is no concoction or some whimsical ideas and thoughts. Then only transformation is there. Then only we can see the result. Then we can see the ultimate happiness within the heart when you follow Sadhu and Shastra and Guru. Otherwise, there won't be any change in the heart.
Understood, Prabhuji. Um, you also mentioned about the whole Bhagavatam also explains about the Manu. So, but Manu is not one of those like we know there are Paramahamsa. No, ma, ma, I forget what we call Mahajans.
Yeah,
There are 12.
yes.
So,
One of them is
is
one of them. There are many Manus. Out of 6 types of incarnation, one of the incarnations is Manmantra avatar. So that is also one type of incarnation. Like the Sikta Vaisya avatar, there's a Manmantra avatar, there's a Lila avatar, there's a Purusha avatar. So they're like this. There's and Guna avatar, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva is Guna avatar, like that. So one of the sixth type is Manmantra avatar. So there are almost within one day of Brahma or one lifetime of Brahma, 560,000 Manus also are there. So those many Manus are there. Out of that, the specifically Swayambhu Manu is also part of the 12 Mahajanas. Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Kapila, Swayambhu Manu, Vyasaki, Vyasdev, Sukadev Goswami, Yamaraj, Prahlada, Janaka, Bhishma. These are all considered Mahajanas because they
so
know the
they are
truth, and by
so they are
following under their
present that
footsteps, then dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhaya mahajanasya yena gatasya panta. If you want to understand, like who is your mother, who is your father, who has to tell? Mother or father only can tell. You cannot prove that who is your mother, father. If mother says that he is your father, then child will accept. Same way. So, bona fide acharya, if he gives the truth because he has seen the truth, then you accept as it is. So, that is the way. In descending order, you accept the absolute truth. And it will make sense. Initially, there may be question, confusion, why this is so. You keep hearing it, and then you try to follow to some extent. Initially, maybe mechanical, but more you hear it, more it will make sense. So everything makes sense. You can apply your mind intelligence, and it makes sense.
understood, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Anyone else has questions?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam Prabhu.
Say Krishna Jagannath, yeah, go ahead.
Babu, last just you mentioned that can you repeat again that we should do the obeisances from left side.
Yeah,
Can you repeat again why a little bit? Maybe I missed that particular point.
yeah. There is energy and energetic. You understand that? Energetic means one who is giving the actual source of energy. Who is Supreme Lord Sri Krishna or Lord Vishnu is called energetic, and energy
Hmm.
is Srimati Radharani.
Hmm.
Or the expansion of Radharani is Lakshmi's, Durga, Sita Devi, all of them are expansions of Srimati Radharani. So that they are all called energies. Energies. So we are
Hmm.
also called energies, but we are called marginal energy. The Jiva is called marginal energy. When it comes to Srimati Radharani or expansion, they are called internal energy. We are called marginal energy. So, and then this material nature is called external energy. But still, all these 3 types are called energies. They are not energetic. Energetic means actual source. Then now the energy is always to the left side of the energetic. That's all we are saying. If you take Lakshmi Narayan, Lord Narayan is on the Lakshmi is always on the left side of Lord Narayan. When you offer obeisance, because we are also one of the energies, marginal energy, we have to be on the left side of the Lord when you offer obeisances. That is our constitutional position of a servant of the energy towards the energetic. So that's why we have to offer left side. This is what Shastra says. That's what we have to follow.
Okay.
Is that clear?
Oh, yes, Babu, it is clear. But another thing you already mentioned right now, in spiritual world, some of the demigod also they are Shuddha in Shuddha form.
Yeah, they are purified. They are not jivas. They are not jivas.
Yes.
They are means they are purified. There are 3 categories. There is Nitya Baddhas, eternally conditioned soul. That means we don't know when how long we have been going with this conditioned nature, bodily concept of life. We are taking different bodies. That is one category of jivas. The second category of jivas is the Nitya Siddhas. They are always liberated. They never become conditioned. But they may come to this material world to deliver people, like Narada Muni, Lord Brahma, not Lord Brahma, Lord Brahma is against you. Narada Muni is example. Lord Brahma also to some extent. There are different Brahmas again. There is a pastime in Srimad Bhagavatam. Lord Krishna one time called. He wants to actually crush the pride and also show. This Lord Brahma, current Brahma, is thinking that he was bewildered. He thought this is ordinary cowherd boy. Who's this? He was testing. So at that time, when he came, then he offered. He was waiting outside his door, outside his hall or outside his house. Lord Krishna. Then the secretary told that please wait here. I will tell the law. I will inform. And tell him that I am Lord Brahma. Then Lord said. Then the person came out and said, which Brahma are you? Then he said, I am the only Brahma. But then later on he realized, then Lord Krishna called all the Brahmas. There's 100-headed Brahma, 1,000-headed Brahma. So many different Brahmas, everybody came. Then he realized, oh, I thought I am the greatest personality here. I'm in charge of the second creation. But he understood that I'm insignificant. Even though I'm Brahma and doing creation, but I'm nothing. I'm the smallest Jiva. So anyway, in the spiritual world, Nitya Siddhas means they are always liberated, but they may take up the task of Lord, go to hellish planet, go to the earthly planet, or go to the sun planet, go to whatever planet Lord says, go and preach there, go and transform the souls. Then that is what their job is. Otherwise, they are always in the spiritual world. They are always engaged in the service of the Lord. But they come down if the Lord says, go and do that. So that's why they may come down. But this third category, Supreme Lord is always eternal. His position is not the same as the Jivas. He is Iswara, is the supreme controller. Lord Shiva is also sometimes called Parameswara, but he is not the supreme controller. Because he himself is meditating on Lord Sankarshan. He himself is saying in Srimad Bhagavatam in multiple places, Canto 4, there is a Rudra Gita. He is chanting almost 10 plus verses. In that, he himself is telling that I am meditating on Lord Sankarshan. That's how Rudras are annihilating during the annihilation process. How is he getting the energy? From whom he is getting? In Canto 5, last chapter, Glories of Ananta, there it is described. From Ananta, between his eyebrows, the energy is coming to burn this whole universe at the time of annihilation. Through that energy, when it is transferred to Rudras taking care of the annihilation. So in this way, you can understand the position of each of these personalities. So whether Ganesha or Suddha Saraswati, many of these demigods are there in the spiritual world, but they are not of the same Ganesha or same Saraswati in the material world right now, because these are the position of jivas. So well, just like Indra, we are saying Indra is a generic position, but his name currently within this Brahma's period is called Purandara. That means, right now, today, your name in this life is Ashesh Karna Jagannath Prabhu or Ashish Prabhu in the Karmi's name. So that is only in this birth. Previous birth, what was your name? You don't know. Future, what name? You will not know. Same way, currently, Indra is a generic title. The position's name currently in this lifetime in Brahma's Dvitiya Parartha, Purandara is the name given to that Indra's title. That person is ruling. So that means it is a jiva is being assigned to that post. So he's not the same as the Indra, maybe there in the spiritual world. So he's different from this person because this person is just became qualified to take up that post. So that's why it is different from the person who is there in the spiritual world, who has become purified, who has become liberated person. These demigods who are operating on Jivata except Lord Shiva, all Lord Brahma and Indra and all of them are Jiva Tattva category. They have been qualified to take up these posts. So, but when they become mature and they perfect their life and their period is over, then they go back to Godhead. Then they become also liberated souls. But they also have a chance that they may fall down. They may not even enter into spiritual world because if they have a difference of opinion, if they have a difference Veda Drushti, that means they are not fully aligned with the thoughts and desires of the Supreme Lord. They are not fully perfected their life. They still think that I am the enjoyer, I am the independent, then you are still there in the material world. Until you give up the idea and conception that I am not the enjoyer, Krishna is the enjoyer. I am not the enjoyer. Krishna is the enjoyer. That's what we have to see. Everybody. It takes long time though. It takes long time. You can't see your wife or kids or your friend or whatever other devotees that yes, they are for my enjoyment. I can engage them in anything I want. No, that is not the conception. Always think that they are in the service to please, in the offering of to Guru and Krishna. They are, if at all, if somebody is helping us, think that I am not the enjoyer. Actually, it is for enjoyment of Krishna and Guru. So my duty is to help them to be in the service of Krishna and Guru always. This is our position is always menial servant of Guru and Krishna. To the degree we operate in that platform, to that degree we will not be implicated by any reaction. To the degree we operate that we are the enjoyer, I'm the this person or I'm this designation, I'm the commander in chief or whatever we may take up the title or designation. If you operate under that designation, that means we are thinking I am the enjoyer. I am the one is controlling. No, we are not the controller. We are not the enjoyer either. So then we get the real enjoyment. If you do that in that position, then you get the real enjoyment. Until that, you will not get the real happiness. A revelation from the heart will not happen until that point. Because you are thinking still, even though as a devotee, as a practitioner, we are thinking that I am the one who's doing the service. No. We don't even have qualification to get the service. Guru is giving without looking at your qualification. On behalf of Guru and Sri Prabhupada, we are getting the service. That's what we have to understand. So that's why they are the enjoyers. We're only doing for their pleasure. So in this consciousness, in this mood, if we do it, then actually internal happiness will come. Then gradually things will be revealed. Because you are doing for them, for their pleasure. So that is our actual constitutional position. That our servant of Krishna, servant of Guru and Krishna. So that's how we get revelation. That's how we become perfect. So that is our natural position. So we have to move towards that idea. Yeah. Is that clear?
Yes, Prabhu.
Jagannath Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu, that is clear, and that means we can think that Shuddha Ganesh is there. Shuddha Ganesh.
Shuddha? What?
Ganesh. Ganesh.
Repeat that again. Shuddha?
Demigod Ganesh.
Yes. Yes. It is described in, I think, Srimad Bhagavatam or I forget where I read, or one of the books of Rupa Goswami. Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur is explaining in his commentary, or Nectar Devotion. One of the place it is there. But because that's why it creates confusion. That's why I mentioned I don't want to create confusion because then you will relate the same. Oh, these demigods are also the same as the spiritual. No, they are two different. So the Saraswati mentioned in the Brahma Samhita is different from Saraswati we have in the material world. There is Suddha Saraswati. This material world is a Jiva has taken the title or position of that person for that role in this period of Lord Brahma.
Okay, so Rudra also Jiva Tattva, Prabhu?
Yes.
Rudra?
Yes. That is the
Okay.
of Lord Shiva. So Rudra is Jiva Tattva within this material world. Yes.
Oh, okay. That's good. And these 12 Mahajan you are described already. So Rishabdev is 12 in 12 Mahajan? No, right?
No.
Rishabdev?
Rishabhadev is a direct incarnation of the Supreme Lord. Is Lord Vishnu himself. He is not a Mahajan. Mahajana is Jiva Tattva. Rishabhadev is Vishnu Tattva. He is not Jiva Tattva. Yeah. That description is also there. In Canto 5, Lord Rishabhadev's glories are there. It clearly mentioned is Lord Vishnu. So Rishabhadev. In some places, it is some of them are like Siktavesa Avatar, Jiva Tattva. But they are not Vishnu Tattva. Like Lord Buddha, Vyasdev, Narada Muni, they're all Jiva Tattva. Siktavesa Avatar, empowered. They are not Vishnu Tattva. So in some categories, we have to. Yes.
Prithu Maharaj, sorry for the interruption, bro. Prithu Maharaj.
Prithu Maharaj is also Siktavesa Avatar, Jiva Tattva.
But not Mahajan, right?
No, not Mahajan. In the 12 Mahajanas, it is not listed, but is as good as Mahajan. Is the pure devotee of the Lord. He has acted on that platform. That's why Lord Vishnu appeared in the arena. Yes, but he is not considered as part of those 12 Mahajanas. So,
okay.
Yeah, we have to go by what is mentioned as Mahajana. We take the words of the Shastra and understand that way. We don't speculate and add everybody else under Mahajana's list.
Okay, Babu, got it.
There are different devotees though, different devotees. You have to understand from Brahad Bhagavatamrita, there are 5 categories of Prema Bhaktas. They are above Mahajanas, some of them, or many of them. Like look at the list of Mahajanas. You have Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Prahlada, Janaka, Bhishma, Vyasdev, Sukadeva Goswami. When you look at Brahad Bhagavatamrita, you are seeing that they are trying to search for who is the topmost devotee. Narada Muni is going. So they went to Lord Brahma, then Lord Shiva, then Prahlad Maharaj, then the Pandavas, then further down it went to Uddhava, then finally it stopped at Gopis of Vrindavan. They are the highest. So there's a Prema, Prematama, Prematara, Premottama, Prema, I think one more, 5 categories or 4 categories described by Parikshit Maharaj describing to Uttara, Mother Uttara, and this is in conversation between Maharaj, Janamejaya and Jaimini Rishi. This is in the beginning of Brahad Bhagavatam, 3-volume book. In the beginning of that book, you will see these details that clearly. Mother Uttara is asking, is about to leave the body. Parikshit Maharaj, 7 days almost done, but somehow or the other, by Krishna's mercy, time kind of expanded and he was able to give the essence of the Srimad Bhagavatam 7 days what he has heard, but it is not exactly the same as what is there described in Srimad Bhagavatam. And this is you can say, an extension of Srimad Bhagavatam, Brahad Bhagavatamrita. What is there in Srimad Bhagavatam is not found in Brahad Bhagavatamrita, or vice versa. It is different. It is condensed version of the principles of what is laid out in Srimad Bhagavatam can be understood, the essence. Because Srimad Bhagavatam is telling that how to perfect your life and come to the pure devotion service. Brahad Bhagavatamrita also telling the same principle, actually giving an example. What is devotion service, and then how to practice it, and then who has done it, who has gone back. Anybody can question, how can you say that this person is pure devotee? Yes. You can look at this book, volume number 3, Brahad Bhagavatamrita. Clearly, description is there of Gopa Kumar, a ordinary conditioned soul, taking shelter of spiritual master, going from material world, going from all the way, so many different planets, from earthly planet all the way to the upper planets, different position, different title he has taken. He didn't become happy, moved on, entered into Brahmana effulgence, moved on, entered into Vaikuntha with master servant. He is not happy. Then he entered into Ayodhya. He was not happy. Then he entered into Dwaraka. He was not happy. He entered into Jagannath. He was not happy. He entered into Mathura. He was not happy. Then finally, when he entered into Golok Vrindavan, because that was his eternal position. In that case, Gopakumar was actually, his position was a servant of Krishna as a Sakyaras. Then as soon as he entered into Golok Vrindavan, then he was blissful. He was not looking for any change. He was not looking for anything more. Then he was so blissful, then Lord Krishna came, he was waiting. I was waiting for many millions of years. Then he gave his hug. The description we have read in one of the class from Gopal Champu book of the Gopakumar meeting, how a devotee first time enters into the spiritual world, meets Lord Krishna, is eagerly waiting when this person is going to turn towards me and come to me. He's waiting, he's giving instruction through his representative, is sometimes indirect, he's giving a difficulty, he's giving you challenges in life, he's teaching you, I am here, I'm trying to tell you, turn towards me. But we don't want to hear, we don't want to see Krishna. What can be done? Nothing much anyone can do. Neither Lord Krishna can help nor Guru can help. Matirna Krishna Parata Sotova Vidyo Avipadyeta Grahapratanam Punascharvita Charvananam is mentioned. Prahlad Maharaj is telling Aranyakasipu, devotion service cannot be attained by your own endeavor or somebody else's endeavor. It can only be attained by Nishkinchanasya Bhagavad Vajron Mukasya Param Param Jageshwar Bhavasagarasya. By the association of the pure devotee, only it can help. Mahiyasam Padarajo Abhishekam Nishkinchanana Navranita. Only by the mercy of, causeless mercy of the pure devotee. It's not by any other means. Causeless mercy of the pure devotee, we may be able to attain Krishna. We may be able to receive mercy of Krishna. That is the only way. Directly receiving mercy of Krishna is very, very rare chance. To perfect our life, directly receiving mercy is 0.01%. 99.9% we have to depend on the mercy of the spiritual master. That's when the progress is. Otherwise, it's very difficult. Nectar devotion, look at the part 1, I think chapter number 17 or 18 or 19. These details are given that it is a Krupa Siddhi. Based on our sadhana, we'll do, endeavor we do, but we have to depend always on the mercy of the spiritual master, pure devotee of the Lord. Through him only. If he says something, then Lord Krishna has to oblige. Isn't he declaring in Bhagavad Gita? What is he declaring? Kaunte pratijane name bhakta pranasati. Why is he easy not declaring? Because he can break his promise. He doesn't want to give his Krishna Prema, the highest thing, to anybody and everybody. So he will only give when he is really sure that he really wants to be in that position, and operate and follow. He thinks that I am not the enjoyer, Krishna is the enjoyer. So, but only when the spiritual master is representative authorizes, confirms that, then he has no choice. Lord Krishna accepts. If Radharani says that he is the devotee, please engage him, then he has no choice but to accept that person. Prabhupada is the representative of Srimad Radharani. Nityananda Prabhu is the representative of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. Guru is the representative of Lord Nityananda Prabhu and Srimad Radharani. Both are the most merciful. Out of all, Radharani and Nityananda Prabhu, non-different. Both are the most merciful. And further merciful is their representative, which is spiritual master, is very, very merciful form. So, because as Prabhupada told, I'm not Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I'm not Nityananda Prabhu. And they can do on their own. They don't need anybody. They don't need anybody to spread their glories. But for me, I need all of your help. So I need, even if you fall down or you sometimes you don't chant, you don't follow, but I need all of you. The tears in his eyes, Prabhupada is showing his mercy. This is causeless mercy. He told. Then some disciples asked, Prabhupada, we don't have any qualification. We are from Western background. We are engaged in so many sinful activities. How are we here? How are we? We don't have any sukruti. Prabhupada said, I created your fortune. Prabhupada said, I created your fortune. Because this is causeless mercy of the pure devotee. The pure devotee is praying for a practitioner that, oh Lord, please make him a pure devotee. Please purify him. Then he has no choice but to bring him up to that standard. He is going by the words of his pure devotee. Right? If a president is there, his secretary is there, somebody who's close to secretary, if secretary says, this person, I want him to be put in your department, engage him in a certain job, then president will accept because he is my secretary. That means you will know. At least he has some caliber, some qualification, and he is recommending me, then I should accept him. If he is a genuine secretary, he will accept, president will accept. Same thing. Spiritual master is direct representative of the Supreme Lord, then definitely Lord will accept because he knows that the spiritual master is recognized certain devotee, then Lord also accept that devotee. And then he will take in his protection and he will engage in his service. Is that clear? Ashish Karan Jagannath Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. Very, very nicely explained, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Dandavat Puna, Prabhu.
We'll stop at 58. We went long way, but it is good. Question answers has to be clear. More it is there, it will become stumbling block. Sometimes it could be volcano. Don't keep anything in the heart. You have to discuss confidentially with devotees whom you have confidence on. Please discuss. That is the only way you can really. Otherwise, this will come as a frustration, anger, different ways. It will come out. Sometimes if you keep in the heart, it will go on for some time, and then suddenly it will erupt. So, which is not going to be good in relationships. So that's why you should discuss confidentially, though. You should discuss so that we can come to that perfection stage. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Gandhara Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Bhakta ki jai.